Hello everyone, welcome to the ITLS Academy. Today we are going to discuss about the FSSAI, that is your Food Safety and Standard Act 2006. Okay, so today we are going to discuss about this act and about the FSSAI. First of all, it is the single law which are follow in whole country. Okay, so this FSSAI is totally based on the Food Safety and Standard Act 2006. So here in today's lecture, we are going to discuss about it and about the FSSAI. Okay, so issue with existing regulatory regime, 9 different law and 8 different ministry governing the food sector. Before FSSAI, there are different law for a different type of food products. Okay, there are around 9 different laws and 8 different ministries which are rule in the food sector. Suppose that for a oil there is some different law. For fruits and vegetable there is a different law and different governing body different ministries which govern these food in different sectors. Okay, so this make very confusion, and also it leads to the disturbance in the food laws. So that's why this FSSAI are formed. Now law framed by different ministry deputy with different perspective and informants approach. Suppose that there is one law is made by a and one law is made by a B. There is a two ministry who frame laws. Okay, so maybe a form that this particular food have should have a veg or non-veg logo. Okay, now this B ministry declared that there is no need of this veg and non-veg logo. So that means a confusion and overlapping. That's why these different laws are um, eliminated and one single law are formed, and this will follow in a whole country. Overlapping laws with different quality standard and labeling requirement. Okay, that I already told you. This labeling requirement have if different laws are there, then this laws what they do, they overlap each other, and for a different quality standard and labeling requirement. Need for new law, what is the need of this new law? That first of all we have to remove the multiple regulation. Okay, then harmonizing with international law. First of all, the multiple regulation should be removed, then it will form with the international laws like your codex and some other laws, forming regulatory requirement which are based on science and risk analysis, facilitating the trade without compromising consumer safety and bringing in innovation in a food. Okay, so it is also facilitate the trade without compromising the consumer safety, because when a consumer are buying a product, then they have the first thing that their safety matter. Okay, that's why it also does not compromise the consumer safety, and it also help in bringing of the innovation in a foods. Means that something which are new in a food are uh, are described or are initiate in because of these laws. Now the next one is your caught in the wave. See, Indian food law. Indian food law before FSSAI. So first law is Prevention of Food Adulteration Act, which are introduced in 1954, and rules and the department which govern this is the Department of Health and Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. Okay, the next law is your this Prevention of Food Adulteration Act is for a adulteration, is for a adulteration. Okay, so the next law is a fruit, just a minute. This is the next law is your fruits product order. Okay, so the name suggested that this law is for a fruit and fruits product. fruits and fruits product like your juices, okay, jellies, jams. Now it is governed by a Ministry of Food Processing Industries. Now the next law is your milk and milk product order. Okay, so this law is for a milk and the milk product, and it is governed by a Department of Animal Husbandry, Ministry of Agriculture. Okay, now the next law is your Export Quality Control and Inspection Act. This act is for the export of the food product, export of the food products. Okay, especially this law is for this, and it is governed by a Department of Commerce, Ministry of Commerce and Industry. So the next law is your meat products order. Okay, the name suggested that this law is for a meat and meat products like Ministry of Food and Processing Industry. The next law is your Agriculture Product Grading Marketing Act. This is governed by a Department of Agriculture and Cooperation, Ministry of Agriculture. Okay, now the last law is for a Standard of Weight and Measure Act and Package Commodity Rules, the Vegetable Oil Product Control Order, the Edible Oil Packaging Regulation Order, and the Solvent Extracted Oil, De-oil meal, and Edible Flour Control Order, and it is governed by our Ministry of Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution. So here you see that before the FSSAI, there are different law for the different food products. So there are around one, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There are 10 different laws for the products. Now this different law make a confusion, make a overlapping of different law to each other. That's why all the laws are eliminated and the single law, that is your FSSAI, are introduced. Okay, which work on a FSSAI Act 2006. Now the next one is your the Food Safety Standard Act 2000 is the act to consolidate the law relating to the food and establish the Food Safety and Standard Authority of India. Okay, so this act, that is Food Safety Act, FSSA Act. Okay, this is your Food Safety and Standard Act 2006. Okay, this act is what? This act consolidate the all the laws which are related to the food, and in the place of that law they establish a single law. Okay, and a single body which govern all the laws related to the food, that is your Food Safety and Standard Authority of India, for laying down science-based standards for articles of the food and to regulate their manufacture, storage, distribution, sales, import. See, all the laws like your manufacturing, storage, distribution, sales, and import, so that they ensure that the foods are safe and wholesome food for the consumption and for matter which are connected to therewith or incident there too. Okay, so the act which come under this the act which are overlapped by the FSSAI, they are what? They are the overlap overlap by the FSSAI. So the first one is your Prevention of Food Adulteration Act 1954, Food Product Order 1955, okay, Meat Food Product Order 1973, Vegetable Oil Product Control Order 1947, Edible Oil Packaging Regulation Order 1988, Solvent Extracted Oil, De-oil meal and Edible Oil Control Order 1967, Oil and Oil Product Order 1992, and any order under Essential Community Act 1955 relating to the food. These all are controlled by a single law, that is your FSSAI. So all the laws are overlapped by the FSSAI. Now the next one is, now the salient features of this act to ensure that all the food meets consumer expectation in terms of nature, substance, and quality, and is not misleading present. Okay, so the first feature of this act, that is your Food Safety and Standard Act 2006, that they ensure that they will meet the consumer expectation. Okay, all the food like your vegetables, your fruits, your milk, your meat, all the food products will fulfill the consumer requirements in terms of nature, substances, and quality, and also does not mislead the present. It also provide legal power and specify offenses in relation to a public health and consumer interest, to shift from our regulatory regime to self compliance through our food safety management system. Okay, so it also shift from a regulatory regimes to a self compliance to a food safety management system, science based standard. Okay, so the standard which are set by the FSSAI are totally science based, that they have a some logic behind it. Proprietary food, novel food. Okay, novel food means suppose that some new food are introduced. Okay, like suppose that in a previous year there is a no concept of the dry fruit. Okay, so like your apples are what? Apples are dry, and when they are dry then their shelf life will increases. So this will sometimes from several years ago this dry apple is come under the category of the novel food, GM food, that is also known as a genetically modified food, genetically modified food. Okay, dietary supplements, nutraceuticals, etc., brought into the ambient of the new act. Okay, dietary supplement like suppose that some person who take the dietary like your some good bacteria they will eat from with the help of yogurts and all. Nutraceuticals in which the food have both the properties, that is the curing of the disease and the providing the nutrition, so they are all come under this new act. Now the next one is your uh, scope of the act. Okay, the act covered activities throughout the food distribution chain, from primary production through a distribution to retail and catering. Okay, so this act are active throughout the food distribution. Throughout the food distribution, suppose that A to B. Okay, B is what? B is your consumer. Okay, and A is what? A is your primary production. Okay, so this FSSAI cover all the activities which are in between the A and B, means that the primary production till the product are distributed to the consumer or retail or catering, anything they will cover under this FSSAI. The act gives the government powers to make regulation on matters of the food safety. Okay, this FSSAI also give a government that they have a power to make a law, and this law should be related to the safety of the food. The Food Safety and Standard Authority of India is the principal government authority. This is what? This is your FSSAI. What? It is a principal government authority. Principal government authority, which responsible for preparing a specific regulation under this act. And this regulation should be beneficial for the food. Sorry, beneficial for the consumer and fulfill the consumer demand which are related to the safety of the food. They should be covered in this act. Okay, so this is the scope of the act. Now the next one is your function of authority. Okay, so function of authority come under the section 16. You can go and check it on the section 13. It is to regulate, monitor and manufacture, processing, distribution, sale and import of food to ensure its safety and wholesomeness. So this FSSAI Act, what they do, they regulate, monitor. Okay, what they regulate or monitor? The manufacturing of the product, the processing system, the distribution of the product, the sale and import of the food to ensure its safety and wholesomeness. Suppose that manufacturer produce a food and it will expire on 2nd of December 2024. Okay, now it reaches to the market on August 2024. Okay, now 27 August 2024. Now when it reaches the market, it should say before 2 December 2024. So this will also regulate by the FSSAI to specify the standard guidelines for the food articles. Okay, so there are special guidelines for the food article. It also specify the FSSAI limit for the food additive, contaminants, veterinary drugs, heavy metal, mycotoxin, irradiation of the food processing acts. They all are regulated by the FSSAI. Mechanism and guidelines for accreditation of certification bodies engage in FSMS certification. Quality control of imported food, specify food labeling standard including claim on health, nutrition, special dietary use, food category system, and also the scientific advice and technical support to a central and state government. So these all the function of the FSSAI. Now, regulatory informants of state. Okay, so this is your designated officer. Okay, so designated officer have food safety commissioner and food safety officer. On the above of the designated officer have a food safety commissioner, and this food safety officer is lower than the designated officer. Okay, then from this side it is your adjudicating officer, appellate tribunal, and special court. Here, referral lab, accredited lab, and food analysis. So these are what? This is the regulatory informants at state. At a state level, there is a different regulatory informants are there, like your designated officer, food safety commissioner, food safety officer, different lab like your referral lab, accredited lab, and food analyst. And here it is your special court, appellate tribunal, and adjudicating officer. So this all come under this. Now the next one is your definition. Okay, we all know that what is this food means that. Okay, food is any substances. Nothing, it is what? It is any substances which are either processed or partially processed or unprocessed. Okay, processed means like your suppose that your meat curry, they are what? They are processed. Okay, your marinated product are what? They are partially processed. Unprocessed like your fruits. Okay, and vegetables, they are what? They are come under the category of unprocessed food. Then when human being consume all these things, they will provide the energy to them and also give and also help in their growth. So these will come under the category of the food. Now see what is written in the slide. Food means any substances whether processed, partially processed or unprocessed, which is intent for human consumption and include primary food, genetically modified or engineered food, or food which contain ingredients like your infant food, packaged drinking water, and alcoholic drink. They will contain the ingredient into it. Your chewing gums, any substances including water which is used into a food during its manufacture, preparation, or treatment, but does not include any animal feed, live animal, unless they are prepared or processed for placing on the market for human consumption, plan prior to harvesting, drugs and medical product, cosmetic, narcotic and psychotropic substances. They are all come under the category of food. Means that they provide the energy either in any form, like your processed, unprocessed, partially, either they are primary food, genetically modified, engineered food, or sometime the food contain ingredient like your infant food, packaged drinking water and alcoholic drink. So this will all come under this category. Now, food additives. Okay, so food additive is simply means that the ingredients which the substances which are not the part of the food, but they are added the food to increase the shelf life. Okay, and the quantity of this additive is also governed by a FSSAI. Okay, if we add this food additive beyond the limit, then it will become the hazardous. So that's why FSSAI fix a limit for addition of this food additive into a food product, so that they will increase the um okay. Now see what is written in the slide. Food additive means any substances not normally consumed as a food by itself or used as a typical ingredient of the food, whether or not it has a nutritive value. The in, in intentionally added of which to food for a technologic purpose in the manufacturing, processing, preparation, treatment, packaging transport, or holding of such food result may be reasonable expected to a result. They are not the part of the food product, but intentionally they will add it into a food with the help of different technologies like your organoleptic purpose in the packaging transport, or holding of such food result, or maybe reasonable expected to the result, direct or indirect, in it or its byproduct becoming a component of or otherwise affecting the characteristic of such food, but does not include contaminants. Okay, they are not contaminants, but they will affect the characteristic of the food. And one more thing, when we added this food additive, then they have no nutritional value. Okay, substances added to a food maintaining or improving nutritional qualities. Adulterant means any materials which is or could be employed for making the food unsafe or substandard or misbranded or containing a extraneous matter. Okay, so they are what? They are not the part of the food, but when we are added into it, they will either making the food unsafe or substandard or misbranded. Okay, then it will also contain a extraneous matter. Misbranded means that suppose that there is a brand A which claim that they have no sugar into it. No sugar into it. Now there is a adulteration of sugar into it, but in their packaging material it is written that no sugar into it. This will come under the misbranding. Okay, so if this product are consumed by a diabetic patient, then what happens? Then it will health of the affect the health of the consumer. Health of the consumer due to the misbranding of this no sugar. No sugar is what come under the category of misbranding. Now the next one is your Food Safety and Standard Authority of India, that is your FSSAI. The central government shall by notification establish a body to be known as a Food Safety and Standard Authority of India. This Food Safety Authority of India are established by a central government, okay, to exercise the power conform on and to perform the function assigned to it under this act. Okay, so they perform the function which are under the FSSAI act. The food authority shall be a body corporate by the name if was said having a perpetual succession and seal with power to acquire, hold and dispose of the property both movable and immovable and to contract and shall by the said name sue or sue. The head office of the food authority shall at Delhi. Okay, so this FSSAI have a headquarter in Delhi. The food authority may establish its offices at any other part in India. So okay, they can make office in any other part of India, but their this one head office or headquarter is in Delhi. Composition of food authority and qualification for the appointment of its chairperson and other members. Food authority shall consist of chairperson and the following 22 members, out of which one third shall be women. Okay, so this food FSSAI have 22 members and one chairperson, and in that one third seats are reserved for a woman. 7 members not below the rank of joint secretary to the government of India. Okay, out of this 22, the 7 members should not below the rank of this joint secretary to the government of India to be appointed by the central government. Okay, and they are appointed by the central government to representatively represent the ministry or department of the central government dealing. Okay, like dealing with agriculture, commerce, consumer affair, food processing, health, legislative affair, small scale industries, who shall be member of ex officio. Two represent from food industry, of which one shall be from small scale industry. Okay, out of 22, two represent the food industry and one of them will have for a small scale industry, and two represent the consumer organization. Two is for three eminent food technologies or scientists, and 5 members to be appointed by a rotation every 3 years, one each in Saratim from the zone as specified in the first schedule to represent the state and the union territories. And the 2 person which represent the former organization, 1 person to represent the retailer organization. And the chairperson and the other members of the FSSAI is appointed in such a manner so as to secure the highest standard of competence, broad range of relevant expertise, and shall represent the broadest possible geographical distribution within the country. Okay, the chairperson and the member of the Food Safety Authority appointed by a manner so that they will secure the highest standards. Okay, so this is the quality of this chairperson and other members. The chairperson shall be appointed by the central government. Okay, so who appoint the chairperson of this FSSAI? They are appointed by a central government from amongst the person of eminence in the field of food science or from among the person from the administration who has been associated with the subject and is either holding or has to held the position of not below the rank of secretary to the government of India. Okay, chairperson should have a rank in government of India and the rank should be a secretary rank. The chairperson and the member other than ex officio members of the food authority shall be appointed by the central government on the recommendation of the selection committee. Okay, selection committee recommend, but It is appointed by a central government. Okay. Now the next one is your the chairperson and the member other than a ex officio member shall hold office for a term of 3 years from the date on which they enter upon their offices and shall be eligible for reappointment for further period of 3 years. Now, provided that the chairperson shall not hold office as such after he has attained the age of 65 years. Okay, so for a chairperson, the 65 years is the retirement age. In case of member, the age of 62 years. Okay, but the members, like the 22 members, their retired age is what? 62 years. There shall be a chief executive officer, that is your CEO of the food authority, not below the rank of additional secretary. Okay, so the CEO of FSSAI should not have a rank below the addition secretary to the government of India, who shall be the member secretary of the authority to be appointed by the central government. So you there is a question for you. In 2024, who is a CEO of FSSAI and who is a chairperson of FSSAI? Now you have to give me answer in a comment box. In the end of the lecture, I am going to tell you. But before it, I just want to ask from your side, can you please give me the answer? Who is the CEO of FSSAI? FSSAI. Okay. And who is the chairperson of this FSSAI? Now tell me your answer in a comment box. What is the function of this chief executive officer? Shall be the legal representative of the food authority and shall be responsible for. The CEO are what? They are a legal representative of the food FSSAI. Food authority means that FSSAI. And the responsibility of CEO is the day-to-day administration of the food authority, drawing up of proposal for the food authority work program in consultation with the central advisory committee, implementing the work program and the decision adopted by the food authority, and ensuring the provision of the appropriate scientific, technical, and administrative support for a scientific committee and a scientific panel, ensuring that the food authority carried out its task in according with the requirement of its user, in particular with regard to the advocacy of the services provided and the time taken, the preparation of the statement of revenue and expenditure and the executive of the budget, food authority, and developing maintaining contact with the central government and for assuring a regular dialogue with its relevant committee. So these are the function of the CEO of FSSAI. Duties and function of food authority. So duty and function are very clear. They have to regulate the all the laws which are related to the food safety. Okay, they decide the limits of the food additives, the contaminant, the pesticide residue, the residue of the veterinary drugs, heavy metal, processing ads, and also govern the manufacturing unit, distribution unit, sale unit, import, export, and also the mechanism which have a guideline for the accreditation of the certification, and also give a certification of food safety management system to the food business, and they have a role in like your safety in a food, everything. So these all are come under the duties and function of food authority. Now see what is written in a slide. Regulate and monitor the manufacture, processing, distribution, sale, and import of food so as to ensure a safe and wholesome food. Decide limit for use of food additive, crop contaminant, pesticide residue, residue of veterinary drugs, heavy metals, processing ads, mycotoxin, antibiotics, and pharmacological activities, substances, and irradiation of food. The mechanism and guidelines for accreditation of certification bodies engage in certification of food safety management system for a food business. The procedure and the informants of the quality control in relation to any particles of the food imported into India. Okay, so any food or any food articles which are imported to the India, their quality should be managed by this FSSAI, and they have also form a procedure, and the procedure are also informants by the FSSAI. It also regulates the labeling standard like claim on health, nutritional, special dietary uses, and food category systems for food, provide us scientific advice and technical support to the central government and the state government in matter of framing the policy and rules in area which have a direct or indirect bearing on food safety and nutrition. Okay, search, collect, collate, analyze, and summarize the relevant scientific and technical data, particularly which are related to the food consumption and the exposure of individual to the risk which are related to the consumption of the food. Okay, so food consumption and the exposure of the individual are also governed by this FSSAI, and any contamination which are related to the food consumption are also ensured by the FSSAI. Incidence and prevalence of biological risk, contaminant in food, residue of various contaminants, identification of emerging risk, and introduction of rapid alert system. Central Advisory Committee, that is your CAC. It is what? It is a food authority shall be notification establish a committee to be known as a Central Advisory Committee. This committee are established by a FSSAI, and they consist two members, and each member represent the interest of the food industry, agriculture, consumers, relevant research bodies, and the food laboratory, and all the commissioner of food safety. Okay, and the chairperson of this central advisory committee shall be a ex officio of members. Okay, they are what? They should be a ex officio member. The representative of the concerned ministry or department of central government in agriculture, animal husbandry and dairying, biotechnology, commerce and industry, consumer affair, environment, forest, food processing industry, health panchayat, Raj, small scale industries, and food and public distribution, or government institute or organization and government recognized former shall be invited to the deliberation of the central advisory committee, and the CEO should be a ex officio chairperson of the central advisory committee. The central advisory committee shall follow such rules which are procedure include its transaction of businesses as may be specified by the regulations. Function of this CAC. The Central Advisory Committee ensure that close cooperation between the Food Authority and the informants agencies and the organization operating in the field of food. The Central Advisory Committee shall advise the Food Authority on different topics. The first topic is the performance of its duties under this section, and in particular in drawing up of a proposal for the Food Authority work program, on the prioritization of the work, identification of the potential risk, pooling of the knowledge, and such other function that may be specified by the regulation. The Central Advisory Committee shall meet regular at the invitation of the chairperson of Central Advisory Committee or at the request of at least one third of its member, and not less than 3 times a year. Food safety officers. The Commissioner of Food Safety shall by notification and there appoint such person as he think fit having the qualification prescribed by a central government as a food safety officer for such local areas as he she may be assigned to them for the purpose of performing function under this act and the rules and regulation made there under. Okay, so food safety officer are what? Food safety officer are appointed by a this commissioner of food safety, and the person should have a knowledge of the safety of the food, and they have a qualification which are prescribed by the central government for the food safety officer. Okay, and they do what? They cover our local areas, and they also assign for the purpose of performing the purpose which come under the act of FSSAI, and also rules and regulations which are made by them. Power of the food safety officers. See, food safety officers have a different power. If they go and they will check all the things which are related to the food, and no one can stop them. They will take a sample from anywhere, from any size, anything, but no one can interfere in into them. Take a sample of any food, any substances which appears to him to be intended for a sale or to have been sold for a human consumption. Okay, any food product which are in sale, which are sold for a human consumption, their sample should be taken by a food safety officer. Of any articles of food or substances which found by him or in any such premises which he has a reason to believe that it may be required as evidence in proceeding under any of the provision of the act or of the regulation or order made there under. Size any particle of food which appear to the food safety officer to be in contravention of this act of the regulation made the and send them for analysis. Food analyst for the local area with which such sample has been taken. Power of the food safety officer. The food safety officer may enter and inspect any place. Okay, they have a power that they will enter in any area of the premises where the food are prepared, where the food related thing are stored, and where sale area, where marketing area, anything, packaging area, they will enter. Where the article of the food is manufactured or stored for a sale or stored for a manufacture, or any other article of the food exposed exhibited for sale where any adulterant is manufactured or kept, and the sample of such article of food or adulterant for the analysis. Where any sample is taken, its cost calculated at the rate at which the article is usually sold to the public shall be paid to the person from whom it's taken. Okay, suppose that uh, food officer go to the market and take a sample of A. Now this A is sold in the market around 120 rupees. Now this 120 rupees are given to the person who uh, from whom the sample are taken. Where any article of the food seized as is of perishable nature and the food safety officer satisfied that such article of a food is so deteriorated that is unfit for the consumption, the food safety officer may, after giving notice in writing to the food business operator, destroy the same. The food safety officer shall, in exercising the power of entry upon the inspection of any place which are follow the provision of the Code of Criminal Procedure 1973 2 of 1947, which are related to the search or inspection of a place made by a police officer executing a search warrant issue under that code. Any adulterant found in the possession of the manufacturer, distributor of or dealer in any article of the food or in any of the premises occupied by him as such, and for the possession of which he is unable to account to the satisfaction of the food safety officer, and any book of account or other documents found in his possession or control and which would be useful for or relevant to any investigation or processing under this act may be seized by the food safety officer. Okay, They have a authority that they can seize the place where he or she found any adulteration or any um, articles which have a low quality of food product. They can be that area can be seized by a food safety officer. Where the food safety officer taken any action, he shall call one or more person to be present at the time when such action is taken and take his or their signatures. Okay, so when a food safety officer sealing something or take us some action, so when they are taking any action, one or two persons are there in that time, and the signature of that person should be taken in a paper. Where any book of account or other documents are seized of the food safety officer shall within a period not exceeding 30 days from the date of the schedule return the same to the person from whom they were seized after the copy thereof or extract therefrom as certified by that person in such manner as may be prescribed by the central government have been taken. When any adulterant is seized under subsection 6, the burden of proving that such adulterant is not mean for purposes of adulteration shall be on the person from whose possession such adulterant was seized. The Commissioner of Food Safety may from time to time issue guidelines with the regard the exercise of power of food safety officer which shall be binding. Commissioner of Food Safety of the state. The state government shall appoint the Commissioner of Food Safety for the state for efficient implementation of food safety and the Standard Act, other requirement laid down under this act and the rule and regulation made the under the Commissioner of Food Safety shall perform or any of the following function like prohibited in the interest of the public health: the manufacture, storage, distribution, or sale of any article of the food, either in the whole of the state or any area or part of thereof for such period not exceeding 1 year, as may be specified in the order notified in this behalf in the official gazette. Carry out survey of the industry unit engaged in the manufacture or processing of food in the state to find out the compliance by such units of the standard notified by the food authority for various article of the food. It also conduct the organized training program for the person of the office of the Commissioner of Food Safety training program on a wider scale for different segments of food chain for generating awareness on the food safety, ensure an efficient and uniform implementation of the standard and other requirement as specified, and also ensure a high standard of objectivity, accountability, practicability, transparency, and credibility. Section prosecution for offences punishable with the imprisonment under this act. Such other function as a state government may in consultation with the food authority prescribe. Food laboratory. Okay, food laboratory means that the laboratory institute which are established by a central or a state government or any other agencies, and they are accredited by a NABL. NABL means that the National Accreditation Board for Testing and Calibration Laboratory or an equivalent accreditation agencies, and it is recognized by the FSSAI. Food analyst. The Commissioner of Food Safety may be notification appoint such person as he think fit having the qualification which are prescribed by the central government to be a food analyst for such local areas as may be assigned to them by the Commissioner of the FSSAI. Provision that no person have who has any financial interest in the manufacture or sale of any article of the food shall be appointed to be the food analyst under this section. Provided further that different food analysts may be appointed for different articles of the food. What is the function of this food analyst? On receipt of the package containing a sample for analysis from the food safety officer or any other person, the food analyst shall compare the seal on the container and the outer cover with specimen impression received separately and shall note down the condition of the seal thereon. And they also provide in case a sample container received by the food analysis is found to be in broken condition or unfit for the analysis, he shall within a period of 7 days from the date of the receipt of such sample inform the designated officer about the same and send requisition to him for sending second part of the sample. Suppose that when a food analyst take a sample and they are what, they are either broken and unfit for the analysis, so they have a 7 days so that they will inform the designated of officer about the same situation and then again send a requisition to him for sending a second part of the sample. The food analysis shall analyze such sample of article of food as may be sent to him by a food safety officer or by any other person authorized under this act. The food analysis shall within a period of 14 days from the date of receipt of any sample of analysis sent to the designated officer 4 copies of the report indicating the method of sampling and analysis. In this case, sample cannot be analyzed within the inform the designated officer and commissioner of food safety giving a reason and specify the time to be taken for the analysis. Now packaging and labeling of food, these are the different topic that we discuss in the letter. So this is all about the FSSAI. I hope you will understand all the topic related to this. If you have any query, you can ask me in a comment box. Or for further detail, you can follow the ITLS Academy on different platforms like Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, WhatsApp, LinkedIn. And subscribe ITLS Academy on YouTube and get our app from a Google Play. You can also send your query to the helpline number that are already mentioned in your slide. Visit our website www.itlsacademy.com. Thank you for watching. Please like, share and subscribe our channel.